It's a very big day at Mondello. For the first time in the history of motor racing in Ireland, this country now has a purpose-built international racing circuit. As we can see from Paul Monaghan's helicopter, the track has doubled in length, and the honour of running the first meeting on the new course goes to the MG Car Club. Is it any wonder that Mondello director and former Formula 1 and Le Mans racer David Kennedy is getting a little excited?
It's RAC Super Prix time at Mondello Park. This is where my dreams began, and I got into sports car racing and Formula 1. This place means an awful lot to me. But think of the likes of Eddie Irvine and Eddie Jordan. Look where they've come from and gone to, from Mondello Park into the international success in motorsport. A lot of dreams will begin here this weekend at Mondello Park.
So here we go, the new circuit, 1.2 to 2.24. Let's give it some. Just on this corner here, as we go into the new circuit, it tightens up and you can drift out wide out to the curb. Then you have a reasonably quick straight here, which leads into this very daunting right-hander. Down the gears, down to 6th, down to 5th, down to 4th, and the corner drifts on and on. Very demanding corner this, and you can get the car sideways quite easily through here as you drift out to the left-hand side. Now you're going to move over to the right fairly quickly because you've got a blind left-hander here. Very quick, and then of course begins to drop, and we're into a double right-hander here. Very interesting corner this, and also an excellent place to overtake. The second part of the double right-hander, F1 cars are in here, or first or second gear. Lift out wide, up through the gears, up to 4th, might get 5th here, back down to 4th, tight corner here, then into 3rd gear, and you get into that first corner fairly quickly because you can accelerate fairly fast out of the next left-hander, and then back down here in 3rd gear and down to 2nd gear, and some cars will be getting 1st gear to get out of this corner. That's the new section of the circuit. The last bit is where it joins on to the old circuit. It's quite tight here, down to 2nd gear. We'll flip the curbs on the left, curbs are over the right-hand side.
The big attraction at the RAC Super Prix meeting are the European Boss Formula cars, 8 Grand Prix machines and a whole host of Formula 3000s.
Would you believe it? Formula 1 cars come to Ireland. The Boss cars are here this weekend. It just reminds me of the days when I was racing Formula 1. And Alan Tyndall will be talking to several of the top runners.
Up till 10 years ago, which was the last time I raced at Mondello, I've been doing historic F1. Martin Bahrain, I understand, was propping Keith Wiggins up, and I think he owns the sister car. I wanted to sell the Theodore, one of my older Formula 1 cars, and Martin and I did a deal. I think we both think we came out of it rather badly, but hopefully both of us after time will know that we've both got good cars.
It's a long time since I was on RPM, and I've come a little distance since then. So I spent last year out in Japan. Well, I did a few races out in Japan. I was out there a total of 3 times. But I've got the F3000 car. It's a Reynard with a Cosworth AC engine. I raced this car at Brands Hatch.
This season in particular, we started off quite badly. We've had some serious offs. We had a wing brake at Brands Hatch, which caused like a 160 mile an hour accident. The car is the ex-Aguri Suzuki Michele Alboreto car. Michele Alboreto scored all the World Championship points in it in '92. Extremely good car, like it's a lovely chassis, and it's my pride and joy.
After this event last year, it was fairly obvious we needed an F1 car to live with the lads, and I've been after one for ages, and finally I managed to get this one out of Jordan Grand Prix. Cesaris got 4th with it at Monaco. Bericello had a 5th I forget where, and Irvine used it and got 6th in Spain. In some ways, this is actually physically a lot easier to drive, in that the steering's lighter and the gear change is telepathic when it's working correctly. I mean, if there's any less effort, you just have a military spec plug in your head, you know, it's so easy.
Is it not very hard for a privateer to run a Formula One car?
I mean, to be fair, Eddie did say when I got the car that he wouldn't give me any assistance at all with it, and he's been as good as his word.
Since I was here 12 months ago when we got the lap record, I was fortunate enough to go on to win the Boss Series Championship with the 1994 Tyrrell that we raced here last season. As you can see now in the pits area that we've got 2 of the 1994 cars, car number 3, which is the one I raced last year, and car number 4, which was our number 2 car last year. And then we've got the car that I'm hoping to race this weekend, which is car number 1, which is the 1995 Tyrrell that Mika Salo raced. I can't quite believe how lucky I am, and it's really nice to be part of a team that are putting so much effort into it. And as a driver, you then feel so responsible for performing on the circuit. You know, you feel as though you're driving for the whole team, which is good.
Nigel's qualifying is not so good as his number 1 car ends up in the barriers, so he has to revert to the older Tyrrell. It's a hard life. '97 RAC Super Prix winner Ron Cumming is on pole position, with appropriately enough the Jordan starring alongside on Irish soil in Tony Worswick's hands. Next up is Mondello newcomer Klaus Vorts in another of the V10 engine footworks. With Sarah Kavanagh very admirably sharing the second row with the Formula One car in her Formula 3000. Then it's Rob Gray in the second of the European Aviation Tyrrells, and Duncan Gray's Formula 3000 Reynard alongside him. And some interesting Irish additions, Ronnie Mabin, Ken Dundee and veteran Tommy Reid. But there is drama before the start. Nigel Greensall and Jeff Farmer have to start from the pit road, and Ron Cumming has a problem in the warm-up lap and starts from the back of the grid.
And a superb start from the Jordan there of Worswick as away he goes. But the good news is, and it's not for the race, but for Sarah Kavanagh, who's up into second place in the Formula 3000 car. Now watch the pit lane on your left. These are the 2 cars as they exit. Now we've a problem at the first corner. Cumming and I think it is Gray or Klaus Vorts it is have had a coming together, so we're going to have the pace car out and slow the whole thing down. But again, great news for Sarah Kavanagh.
And sadly, we've lost 2 of our Formula One cars there. And here's the pace car, and you can see the Jordan in behind, Kavanagh in second place. They'll all tighten up again. And then we've got Rob Gray in the first of the Tyrrells, Duncan Gray behind him in the 3000, then one of our Irish entrants. And the pace car should pull off now. The lights are out, and the race is on again.
And the race is on. It's the Formula 1 car versus the Formula 3000 car versus the Formula 1 car. But you can see the sparks off that Jordan as he clouts it down that short straight at Mondello. Now Gray honing in there on the gearbox of Kavanagh. She will know the first part of this circuit. It is a circuit she raced on many times before, and she's not an easy lady to get by. But remember all the time in the background, the man who started from the pit lane, Nigel Greensall, will be making his way through the field.
Kavanagh second, Gray third, and then Duncan Gray fourth, and there's Nigel Greensall, the lap record holder on the short circuit here at Mondello, looking for a gap down the inside. He tucks the Tyrrell, the very wide Tyrrell in there, no problem. Now we're on to the new part of the course.
And he's already up into third place, so by his teammate, and up into third place, and he'll be looking to catch. He's actually in fourth, my mistake, he's in fourth place, looking to get by his teammate. I thought he'd done it, he does it now into that double loop as they get out onto this brand new tarmac, down into these very, very tight corners. He's got to clip the curb on the inside, let it run out all the way and up the hill. But up into third place now, and Kavanagh firmly in his sight, but the man he wants to catch, of course, is Worswick.
And full marks to the Mondello management, who have worked literally day and night to get this course ready. On Thursday it looked like we weren't going to have a motor race. New curbs put in, and here we have Formula One at Mondello as they come down almost to complete the first lap ever on this new international circuit. Up they come into turn 11 for the first time.
You can see Kavanagh still in second place there, but our mirror is full of Nigel Greensall. Second place in the RAC Super Prix at the moment for Sarah Kavanagh, but there's no doubt about the man in the yellow peril out front. And having a look at that inside, and will she be a lady? She does. It's better to let him through this time. Maybe he'll make another mistake, I mean she do, but now she's been bumped down into third place. Will she be able to hold this third place, Alan?
Now we've got a real Formula One race on our hands. So Sarah Kennedy in third place, but there's the man that's really chasing. Nigel Greensall, professional racing driver, current Boss champion. There's Sarah working away, moved up from Formula Opel into Formula 3000, into this Boss Formula. BOSS stands for Big Open Single Seaters.
Big open single seaters they are, and there's one of them, the 194 Jordan, as he just clips the curb on the way out of the second of those double corners. Now there's the Irish battle, Ken Dundee and Ronnie Maben, both of them in the Dundee Auto cars as they make their way down the straight here at Mondello Park. But look out for Nigel Greensall. Remember, lap record holder, second overall last year at the RAC Super Prix. Can he do anything about this man? Indeed he can. He's getting closer by the lap.
Real Formula One racing echoing off the new banks here at Mondello. Absolutely fabulous sight. And is this the birth of a new era that we're going to see truly international motorsport back in this country? Worswick then being shadowed by Greensall in the Tyrell, and they're coming up to lap one of the older 3000 cars. That's little Lola, who's hopefully getting out of the way. Indeed he is, as they come up to turn 11, and it's very close indeed. You can see how dusty the circuit is. This is giving them a bit of a problem, so they're being fairly wary as they wear in this new track here at Mondello.
I say David Seggy there from Scotland got a shock as the two cars just thundered by, but keeping that inside line. Worswick knows this Mondello circuit well, he knows the old part of it, and so does Greensall. He's looking to go really in as deep as he can to get him committed to that inside line so he can get a slingshot out as they go out into the country, but really driving as hard, I think, as anyone could drive this Formula One car around Mondello Park. Worswick is at it, and so is Greensall. These two, unfortunately, or fortunately because the dice is good, are pulling away from Sarah Kavanagh, still in third place, but she's being threatened at the moment for that third place.
And you're looking at about 600 horsepower in each of these cars, both V10 engine Judd engines. There's the Tyrrell now coming in to really go on the attack with Worswick, but he's not going to be an easy man to pass. He's a very competitive man indeed. He's raced in all kinds of formulas and indeed rallied in this country in a Ferrari in the past. Down they come, the double hairpin. Very tricky part indeed. And backmarkers just making way as these two Formula Ones thunder through.
Just see the distance, the difference there. That's Kavanagh now in third place, but you can see in the background Gray again, Secchi just getting himself out of the way for the battle for third place, and David Sheldon was that other back marker in the Formula 3000 who give about 100 brake horsepower away, but you can see that the Formula 1 guys aren't giving up as they make their way through the traffic up the hill. Ken Dundee leaving that inside line free for Worswick if he needs it, but all this time this is playing into Greensall's hand. You can see a little bit of dust being thrown up there because of the actual weather situation here at Mondello. Very dusty, very dirty, but an absolutely huge crowd to watch the very entertaining race.
And I'm glad that Ken Dundee had pretty big mirrors in that car. Sadly, there's Ron Cunningham, who could have given these two a great chase. Touring round, what a shame. Pole position man, not going to make any history today at Mondello. Winner here last year, but not going to figure this year. And he's gone. He's gone. And Greensall was very close to his back wheel there. And I wondered, did he have a gear change problem or something? But the car suddenly swapped ends. Maybe it got out on the loose stuff, or on the marbles, as they say, Brian. But that's his lead gone.
That is his lead gone, but it was very, very close indeed. As Greensall went to the right-hand side, he just missed the back of the Jordan, so he's on his way, but he may have collected a lot of grass in the old side pods, which were the radiators are. And you can see now Gray having a go for that place, that third place as he goes down, but the yellow flags are being waved, and we can tell you that that is against the rules. You've got to back off now. He's got to back off here and let her back in, or he'll be punished for that.
Now, no ship-to-shore radio on these cars, so Sarah Kavanagh will be wondering about that, wondering if he's going to get a penalty. We're on our final lap with the leader, Nigel Greensall, as we're now in the double hairpins. this fabulous new track. This is the second hairpin coming up, accelerating now up over the hill. And they come over this brow into quite a sharp right and left, almost a chicane here, down through the box, using the curbs a little bit, across the other side, and then another quite tight left-hander, which will lead them onto the final straight before they rejoin the old circuit.
And a very quick corner coming up, and where old meets new, old tarmac meets new, and as the brave men come in, put the wheel just over the curb and powered it up the hill for the last time. Turn 11, would you believe, in Mondello Park, as he guns it down into second gear and heads for that all-important checkered flag.
Tony Worswick is going to be second, but who's going to be third? That's the big question, because in fact Rob Gray has had a stop-go penalty. He's been in and out of the pits, and at the moment that's his penalty for overtaking on the yellow flag. So here's the third place person, Sarah Kavanagh. There's the fourth place, Rob Gray, just coming in to lap Ken Dundee for the second time as they come down to the checkered flag. So a superb day for Sarah Kavanagh in third place and on the podium. Nigel, pit lane to podium. I bet you didn't expect that today.
I guess we did it the hard way, didn't we? But the car that our Tyrell team produced, I mean, the European aviation team really is one of the best in the pit lane. And when you're racing, you know, when you've got a team of mechanics like that behind you, you just got so much confidence in the equipment that you're using. It really makes such a difference when you're dicing, and it was good to have such a good dice with Tony as well. I mean, he's driving superbly.
It was nearly going to be the perfect weekend, a Jordan win in Ireland.
Well, that's what I really have loved, of course, you know, it would have been magic, but the first Jordan win isn't so far off, you know. We'll have it.
Third overall in first, so I got two pots. The next race is at Silverstone in 2 weeks. Hopefully I'll have the Jordan car ready by then.
So we nearly got the first Jordan win in Ireland here. Maybe next year.
Next year with me driving.